realization. I don't really need to focus on clean it up. The rainfall, you know, like the rain shit. So it really started. I have been, well, the first book edit's done and I've given to a decent amount of people. I mean, 8. And we'll see what they think in 2 years. I just been busy. I can't read it. Like, oh, okay. I've been, while that's going on, I took a day off. My first real day off that I've had, and I don't even know the last time I just had a day where I didn't do any kind of work at all. And it's like, it's hard to untrain my mind to that. Because even when I watch a YouTube video, I find the subject and the way I think about it work-like. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's how proper storytelling is, and that's what this is, and that's what that is. And we need to make sure, like, I'm still studying. I'm still, like, trying to learn all the time. And I wanted one day of rest, and I had a really hard time doing that. And the entire day, I felt kind of guilty. And I tried. I really did. Even though I did that, I still went forward and started plotting my second book. Now, I'm in the process of creating the story, and I know I gotta make these fucking videos. So, I wanted to talk about something that I have been noticing, and something that makes sense to me now. I've been watching a lot of videos about, like, the subversive shit that are put into movies. Thanks to one of my friends who showed me this, what's it called? This fucking channel. This channel that shows you, like, the subversive shit they're trying to make you think. And it's all, like, you know, the stuff that you would imagine it is. It's about making fun of normal, straight, white guys. And how it's always been a target, and that's always kind of been the enemy. And I didn't really realize that at all, you know? And I just see some of these movies, and I'm learning, like, holy fuck, it's always been, like, ganged up on these people. You know, like, they're homophobic, they're Nazis, they fucking, they're patriarchal, they're, you know, this and that. It's crazy. I didn't notice all this stuff, and now that I'm watching these videos, I'm like, yeah, it is pretty obvious and on the nose. And then I started realizing that something that I always kind of knew in this way, I didn't know it was that way. So, how I knew it this way, I never really liked movies. I was always like, I don't know, they're okay. Every once in a while, there's one that I'm like, I'll actually watch that. And it's like, but for the most part, I just didn't like them. I was like, these are stupid. There's just something about it. Like, all these movies, and, like, they'd even be big movies, important movies, or some would deem them popular ones, or whatever, and I'd still just watch for a little bit and be like, this is fucking retarded. It's only later I realized that those movies, and most, if I don't know about all, but I'm just gonna say a lot of movies, I'll you know, I'll lump it there, are like propaganda. And I did not notice that. I was just like, because, you know, I grew up in a world where it's like, why deceive people? Why, you know, like, let's just be okay and just be a normal person. But no, it's got to be groups of people that have fucked up weird agendas and shit. And so, like, they get too much of a stake in this world, which is weird. Now, I see all these fucking propagandas inside of these movies, and it just blew my fucking mind. Of how they're training people to normalize, like, homosexuality, and to train people how to normalize, like, fear of whatever the thing happens to be, you know, global warming, you know, or fear of just white men in general. And it's crazy, because, like, I am one. I don't see any of the benefits that is supposedly happening, because that'd be kind of cool if I did. I wouldn't have to fucking work as hard. But the point I'm trying to get to is there's a YouTube channel called Black Pill. You should check it out. Billy showed it to me, which is very cool. I never knew it existed. And it's something else, man. Just check it out, form your own opinions. My opinion after that, as I was watching all this, I was like, wow, people don't realize, like, no, they're not putting symbols. They're not trying to force you to think, like, if it's on camera, if it's shot a certain way, if they're saying things, then that's exactly what they're doing. That's just not an accident. Like, oh, we just happen to have him framed in this scene, and oh, look, it ignites hatred for white people in that scene. Oh, oops, we didn't know. Like, it's all on purpose. Like, if they're putting shit in a movie, it's fucking on purpose. I don't know, like, people forget that fact. Like, no, that's just probably something they didn't even notice, you know, like. And for me, what I've just truly realized today is that's why it's so hard for me to write fucking a story. Because I don't want to tell people, or I don't want to force people to fucking think something. That's it. This whole time, it's like, for me, there's an understanding of two different ways you can tell stories. One, like a mythology, and to make you realize where you came from. Keep the history in your blood. And also the stories of helping you grow. Then there's the other side of the stories that help you ungrow, we'll say. Or the stories like these modern, like, the two examples that I watched so far on that channel, one was American Beauty, the movie, and the other one was Pleasantville. Those are designed to make the bad in you activate. So you can, like, explore this darker side of yourself. It's okay to have these thoughts. It's okay to do that. And they're like contorting that, which this is the truth. And these are lies. And movies have gone this way. That's why every modern movie fucking blows. Because they have these subverted messages that they're trying to force on you. And not necessarily you as an adult. Children. They're trying to, like, indoctrinate children into these new mindsets. It's really disgusting. Now, I'm not saying they're doing this like, maybe they are. I think that they might, it mostly could be, if I were to speculate, just like accidental because of the devil within themselves. They don't even realize that's what they're doing. They're promoting evil and darkness and bad behavior. That's what I've been noticing, and I was like, well, that's why I'm having a hard time with the writing, because I'm not sitting here going like, what can I say about society? What can I do about this? And what can I say for them to believe that this is, you know what I mean? If I'm against everything modern culture, the box I'm put in is like a racist, sexist, misogynist, or whatever. I don't know. Whatever the groups are. So you would think I'm sitting here like, how can I talk about racial theory in a way that works for my people? And how can I demean women in a way that they are subservient? Like, you would think that is what I'm thinking. But I'm really just sitting here going like, I don't know who this ghost guy is, you know, or whatever. I'm trying to sit here and figure out my story, because in my mind, the story works just through what I've lived. I know that there are stories that are meant to help kind of like a civilization, or like an understanding of who people are in groups, like, you know, a lot of the Iliad and the Odyssey and stuff like that. It really invokes in you very Greek ideals and stuff, and like Beowulf is one of the examples of Anglo-Saxon ideas, I guess. Or I don't know, I guess you could say maybe Lord of the Rings is kind of like English, Welsh, Ireland, and Scotland. I don't know, though. That's just my speculation. And whatever books for whatever countries. I don't really know. Like, what is it? Oh my goodness. Not Sweden. What's next to Sweden? Norway and the other one. Finland. Finland and their epic of what? My God, dude. I'm having a hard time. Finland and their Kalevala. You know, there are certain stories that invoke certain civilizations, certain groups of people that have banded together and formed an identity. Because as we know now, identities are a lot harder to form because everyone's so fucking mixed. We all have to kind of choose our identity. Like, I'm basically Irish. You know what I mean? Like, what, you were born in America and you don't have an Irish accent and your family has been there for over 200 years. Are you really Irish anymore? There's a lot of weird shit like that because of how mixed we are. And we've been getting mixed since the BC time, so it's not a new phenomenon. But that's a lot of the times what stories do, is they activate this idea of a nationality, a culture, a religion, or, oh, I don't know, whatever else you could imagine. Whereas now we're promoting identity of sexualities, genders, and it's like contorting the fabric of humanity to the point now where you are speculating what your gender is, even though it's right here. Do you know what I mean? Or your sexuality, even though you have one part which is designed for the other part. Specifically designed for it. You know what I mean? It's not like, well, this is just in case. You know, like, that's what confuses me. And again, I don't know if these higher people, or whatever they are, these Hollywood movie making motherfuckers, or whatever other kind of cultural creation, I don't know if they're necessarily sitting down and discussing, like, how can we deceive the public now? Let us normalize homosexuality. So then the people that don't like it, we can tell them that they're secretly gay and they are fucking fucked up people and they have hate in their heart. Like, weird shit, right? I don't know if that's exactly what's happening. I wouldn't be shocked. Don't get me wrong. If you find out, like, this whole time, there's a group of people, like, forcing concept changes for the betterment of their agenda, I would be like, oh my God. It would be just like, yeah, of course. Let me guess, are they Jewish? That would be my first thought about it. And like, the problem with all of this is, for me, trying to get inside what this is considered a story that I'm making, which people would read, and then in that reading, it would do something to their minds. I guess for myself, I don't really necessarily have an agenda for that. So I have my book. It is finished. Book 1. And there are 8 people reading it right now. I don't have some sort of like, once they read it, now they'll see. I really don't have that agenda. Like, I didn't sit down and try to deceive anyone or try to trick their minds or try to make them think this way so I can do that. You know, I had none of that. It was just me sitting down with myself and just writing what I see, I guess. I mean, you know, what else are you going to do? You're going to write what you don't see? So it becomes how you view the world. It becomes how you see it. And I'll be honest, in my book, I don't see the world in a positive light. So most of the time, whatever's negative in my book is very negative, but also what is positive has a tinge of like negative. Like, this is kind of fucked up. This is weird. Like, everyone's happy, but as a reader, you're like, this is weird that they're all happy about this. Like, so I have a kind of different view of the world, and it's not something I'm trying to force on people. Like, I want you to think this way. I want you to also see this. That just happens to be the way I see it, the world around me. Even in the light, there is sinister stuff going on. Even in the hope of the entire world, the cradle of hope that the consciousness of man is inside is fucked up in of itself. You know? So it's like, that's the way I look at it. And I can't help that. But I don't have, again, this agenda. It's like, okay, how can we get them to secretly start to hate homosexuals? What shall I do now? I shall write this character that's like, you know what I mean? Like, you see it in movies. Like, in that movie American Beauty, the only successful, good people that are happy are the 2 gay couple. Everyone else is miserable. All the straight people. So it's like, there's like small, just, it's so tiny. You wouldn't really notice that if you weren't like trained to notice it or a storyteller. You wouldn't notice these little things. Like, oh, wow, you're doing some fucked up things there. That's just something that you notice as you start evolving stories yourself, because you understand there is the story. There is the, he said this to this person, they wanted an adventure and it was cool. There's that element of a story. There's just You have to go to certain places to make certain things happen. But the things that have to happen are indeed the symbolization that you're going to have to invoke in people. If I want John and Jane to go down the road to the grocery store, why am I doing that? I'm not just telling you that they're doing that for no reason. Like, yeah, they're just going to the store. I have to create levels of storytelling. First level, plot devices to make them go places. Well, in that grocery store, they meet a guy named Aaron. And Aaron sends them on a quest to discover where the source of food comes from. And so now I've activated that part. And now there's a secondary part. Why do I want to tell the story of where food comes from? Why do I want to tell that? Well, I have a human mind, so I'm thinking, something sinister and fucked up is happening. And all of a sudden they go to a farm where, like a one of those modern farms where they kill animals really inhumanely or whatever. Because I'm trying to invoke in you. I got your attention. I got you to go along with it. And now I'm trying to tell you what to think. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. And they meet to enforce that idea. There's at that farm, there's this evil fucking guy who rises his hands and he tries to stop them at every corner because they're trying to stop him killing animals unnecessarily. And he's evil, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm forcing you to think things by setting things in motion before you. That is what storytelling is. For me, why it was so hard as you watch on these videos for me to do this is because I don't have a lot of that. My story is not that. It's not me like, okay, now that I got the fucking people right here, I'm going to tell them about I don't like communism or, or I don't know, whatever, like, agenda. Just name an agenda. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter, just any of them. And then I'm like, okay, I want to normalize homosexuality. How do I do that? Well, let me write in the story that, like, that's what I'm saying. You have to have an agenda. And so you see these movies and and it's so fucking clear. And people just eat it up because they're stupid. They're just like, oh, I love the movie. Oh, I love movies. And they're just sponging and they're just absorbing all this fucked up shit. And then now they take that and they look around the world and I'm going to make this, that. I'm going to do this, that. Essentially, when fucked up propaganda movies happen, or subliminal movies and subversive movies, which is a lot of them, they create the drone to then destroy everything that goes against those mindsets. That way they don't have to, because they realize with movies and Hollywood, we no longer have to go out there and go to the churches and burn books. We can just do it through movies. And the internet, now it's not physical. Now things can just quietly disappear and no one will pay attention. We'll just do it that way. It's a whole, that's the whole, probably, I'm going to assume, is the purpose of movies. One of them. I'm sure it began with humble beginnings and it was someone trying to capture a human being moving, but on a screen instead of a picture, because pictures were pretty nuts. I'm sure it was something like that. I'm not going to go and say conspiracy theory, like the idea of pictures are capturing of souls and the movies capturing of consciousness. Like, I'm not going to go into weird shit like that, though I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I'm just saying, I'm sure it was humble in the beginning, but now it's become so fucking disgusting and it's ignited in me. I'm not weird. Because I would just be like the one person, like, I don't like that movie. I don't like movies. I don't want to watch a fucking movie. And everyone's going watching these stupid fucking movies in the movie theater. They're enjoying it. And it breaks my heart because they're smarter than that. But that's what they want to do. Go for it, I guess. And I'm just sitting here like, I don't know. These are stupid. I don't like this shit. This is dumb. Like, I'm sitting there watching this movie and I'm like, I don't know. This is fucking weird. Does anyone else think? Nope, everyone's laughing. Okay, well. Okay, maybe we're weird. And so that's what I would think. And now I'm seeing someone break down these movies in a subversive way, like breaks down the subversiveness that's within the movie, and I'm like, oh, yes, I didn't have a voice for that, and I didn't have the glasses to see that, but now it makes sense. It makes a hell of a lot of sense. I'm very lucky in one way, though. I don't just see that now. Like, now I know I see that. This whole time that's why I was turned off by it. But I just didn't have a voice for it. You saw that the thing was getting red, but you didn't notice, no one taught you, yeah, red means it's getting hot and it's gonna explode. Pressure, like, oh! Like, that's what I mean. I didn't have that knowledge. I just could identify, like, this is weird. But I have a good skill. I know how to be on both sides of it. I can see this fucked up nature, but I can also understand what it's like to be inside of that, where the audience is. Like, I can see why the audience thinks that this is good. I can see why they, like, that's where I'm lucky. And that's the tool I need to start using for my stories. Like, I can see this sinister group of people are fooling this mass of people. I can see that. But I can also see what it's like to be in the mass of people and go like, this makes complete sense to me because it invokes that. I can do that now. But I always could. It was called fucking empathy. And so that's where I find I have a leg up in this. I know how to dip my toe into both worlds. I know how to look at things and say, there's something about homosexuality that I don't agree with. To me, it's wrong. It's not right. It's something weird about that. That's what I really think about that. Okay? But I'm never going to tell people, but now I am on this fucking camera, but I've never went out and told people that I know that are homosexuals and said, hey, by the way, you're wrong. And like, I don't do that. In fact, I just hang out with them and get along just fine. I allow them to live their lives. Not like it's up to me, but like, I don't allow myself to seep into that, if that makes any sense. I'm like, whatever about it. Go ahead, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. Which is a new mindset they want you to have. But the thing is, knowing that, I know why they think it's right. Because empathy. Like, I hear why they think this makes sense. This feels right. This is that, blah, 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 blah. Whatever the reasonings is. I'm not going to go into it. That's not what the point of this is. I can understand that, and it all makes 100% sense. I can like, oh yeah, why wouldn't you think that if that's the road that you were led down? Why wouldn't you think that? Am I going to tell them that most of the time it's this, and that, and that's what they think this is, and you can get confused? Like, yeah, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to sit here and cure people, or whatever you want to call, what do they call it, like turn people, or I don't know, whatever the terminology is. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. That is their personal journey, and if I'm meant to help, then something will give me what I would consider God would give me a like, you need to do, like, oh, all right, fuck, I'll do it. A design path or something. Now, that's what I mean. Like, I can see it's not okay, but I can also see like why it feels like it's probably okay. That right there, that tool is how I guess I was able to tread the waters of this fucked up world we live in. Because I can really, like, I'm sure you sit me in a room with, like, I'm making this up, but this Illuminati fucking really rich, I don't know, person of whatever faith, and they're like, yes, the reason I'm trying to manipulate the world is, and he could lay it all out, and I'd be like, yeah, that makes 100% sense why you would think that. I can see, like, yeah, when you explain it that way, it makes perfect sense. Doesn't mean I agree with it, but it just means, yeah, of course, why wouldn't you think this? That's the skill that I'm very blessed to have. I try not to let myself be foggied by, no, my hatred, or like my fear, or whatever it is, like, whatever they pretend that most people do. If I see a movie that shows hatred towards people of my color, I guess, even though we're not really colors, but whatever, people of my skin tone, I see a lot of hate towards it, especially now, like a lot of hate. And people are so stupid that they don't realize it's hate. And they're being tricked and manipulated into hating a group of people based on the color of their skin. The whole purpose behind invoking this in them is because they felt that way the whole time. Subversively, right? It's all subversive. When I see that, And I find myself part of that equation, even though I'm not a rich guy, and I'm working a 40-hour-a-week job, and and I'm like a normal fucking person. I have never been in a fight. I've never tried to manipulate people into mindsets. I've never tried to like shame people into being something that I'm not. When I see the way that people like me are portrayed and how they need to be shut down, and how they need to be quieted, how they need to be, their minds need to be changed to the reality of the world. The world is vibrant. The world is this. Like when I see this shit, I'm like, this is really fucked up. This is sinister. This is not like this is a good thing. This is the beginning of how you create your slave class. It's always been a thing, but it's like, how can we get groups of people to do certain groups and have certain things or whatever? Like, you're good at this, you're gonna be that, you see it through communism, you see it through like ideas of other kind of stupid fucking political ideas and shit. It's all bullshit. All of it is. The whole world is full of bullshit. Like, just looking at what politics is, it's all lies and bullshit. I don't know why people are like, I am this, I am that, I believe in this idea of this governing type. Like, it's governing you. Like, it's all bullshit. It's lies. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. That's what you want to believe, go for it. And it's like, you have that, and you have cultural shit. You're supposed to think this, you're supposed to want that, build this, eat that. It's like, you don't see like, this is really fucked up. You don't notice this? And that's what I'm noticing about everything now. I've always kind of have, but I just was quiet about it because I didn't realize I was noticing. I just thought I was like, oh, I'm an alien. I guess I just don't get this world. I'm the weird one. Everyone else seems to be getting on. But I didn't realize that was not the case. And so we go back to the beginning. Not having a message in my stories. Like a defined, I'm sitting down and having a malevolent message. It makes sense. I'm not playing. I'm not writing this and some fucking publisher or whatever is like, ooh, I can take it and use it this way, and here you go. Like, that's what it is. I never really thought of it that way. I just thought like, yeah, my book just won't be good enough. People won't want to read it because it sucks. That's what I thought. No, they don't want to read it because there's no fucked up thing that's trying to manipulate them. Manipulate them to the point where it's like, yes, in this part you must do this, and in this part you must do that, and the best way to get the results out of people is to do this, and that way you can make their minds work this way. So from that point, when you introduce this idea, now you're building, like, it can get fucked up. I've watched so many videos about it. I'm like, this is fucked up. I'm not trying to force people into thoughts here. I just want them to read it and just say, wow, warning, warning, warning. This can be bad, this world. That's it. My story is just, I guess if it did have a message, just saying, the world is not what you think, it's fucked up, it's ridiculous. Personal journey of the hero is finding what he really believes. That's it, that's the message. World can be bad because it's run by bad people with bad intent. The hero in the story needs to find the truth in himself, not the truth that they want him to have, or that's out there in the world, the truth that's inside of him, not outside. That's it. That's the mission. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole idea of the fucking story. Eris has to find the truth in himself, because that is exactly where it lies. He is going to be convinced by everyone around him, from traveling companion all the way till like being sat down in front of the United States government and said, okay, this is what you should believe. Like, all of that will try to convince him, and he's just got to go like, I don't fucking know any of this, because the truth is in here. It's not out there. You can't find the truth from to yourself in someone else's fear. That's impossible. You can find it to manipulate, but you can't find it for yourself. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Just like I don't know why people are so easily tricked. I don't know why everyone loves to just do what they're told so much with such ease. And this whole world's built around that. Like, now, just get in your car, it'll start itself. You don't even have to push a button anymore. Like, was it that hard? Couldn't turn the fucking key? Like, you know, it's like, from stupid shit like that to like, just sit down, watch this movie, be entertained, enjoy yourself. And it's like, here's everything we want you to believe. Here is all the messages. And you're like, I'm a good person because if I do this, they tell me I'm good. I'm gonna go be good. I hate Nazis. You know, I was like, who's a Nazi? No one's just relax. There's maybe neo-Nazis out there, but no, just chill out. That's what I'm trying to say is just, there's so many, I mean, everyone. There are people that I truly, truly care about that are like that. And I fucking want to say something to them, but I'm just like, that's not my place to say. Because they're going to think I'm trying to force them to think my way. They're going to, you know, they're going to have the walls that were helped created from these things are going to be in place. So what am I going to do? Chip away at it? Like, yeah, and then your idea of sexuality. Like, no, it's just not going to happen. It's, you know, people are rigid like that. When they find something that they want to identify with, they will stick with it even if it fucking kills them. Because just that's how people are. And to prove my point, look how fucking people are in something so stupid as traffic. They'll go 10 under, knowingly. But I'm gonna fucking stick with it. And if you get too close to me, I will brake check you. It's like, people are that vain about it. I don't care if I know I'm wrong. I'm gonna commit to this. Because I don't want someone to come tell me what to do. Even though that's what all they ever do. And that's a small example. Like, you can just go look in your real life. Go look around you. You see it everywhere. People will do whatever you tell them to do. All you have to do is just tickle their fucking fancies a little bit and say, like, this is good about you. That's good, you know, and it's manipulation. Can I do that? Of course I can do that. I'm a human being. Do I want to sit and do that? Do I want to manipulate people? Do I want to force people into new ways of thinking? Not really. That was part of the reason why I didn't release my book for so long or work on it. Like, I don't have a message that I want. I want people to read my story because I worked on it for so fucking long, but I don't want to trick you. So that everyone that has a copy of my book right now, all 8 of them, I don't even know who watches this, but if you're watching, you have a copy. I'm not trying to inview any sort of mindset. I'm not trying to tell you what to think or anything like that. I just want to be 100% honest. I just want someone to look at the story and say, I recognize the hard work you did, and you did a very good job capturing. Like, I just want to be recognized for what I fucking did. That's all I want. That's it. I want someone to want to read my fucking story. I mean, I gave it to 8 people. I'm gonna be honest with you. I gave it to them maybe a week ago. I wouldn't be shocked. Like, I just haven't gotten to it yet. Like, everybody said that. Like, I'm sorry, haven't got to it. Busy. Even though I'm on the toilet looking at videos. Like, no, okay. I wouldn't be shocked if no one read it yet. That's just how people are. I wouldn't be shocked if 2 years from now no one read it. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't have a very high hope for humanity ever. I'm always just like, yeah, I'm gonna be ignored, even though this is my life's work, whatever. Like, that's where my mind automatically goes. But that's another fucking point. I just want people to read the story and just for themselves read it and just, what do you think? Now what? Do you think that's crazy? Do you think that's a weird way to look at the world? Do you think that the story's odd? Do you think it's very good and then you want to know what's going to happen next? Like, I just want to know. Where do I stand on everything right now? Where do I stand with the story? That's all I want to know. And I know what storytelling is used for. I know it's used to manipulate nowadays. It wasn't always that fact. I don't think, unless it always was. And then the farther away you get from it, the more you realize, like, oh, it's just mythology. What if it was always manipulation? Want you to think, want you to think, want you to think, want you to think. And then it's just like 300 years go by and you're like, the want you to think's either so ingrained in society or so foreign that you're just like, oh, that's cool mythology that they have there. Apparently their hero does, like, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it was always this way. Maybe that's what storytelling is. Maybe to be a storyteller, you're kind of like a mage, a magician, a trickster, a huckster. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's what you are. I don't know. That's something that I don't want to really explore, because I don't want to go down that road. But maybe that's what it is. We'll find out, I guess. Because we're getting to that part now where, right, like I said, I'm working on book 2. I'm literally right now going like, why is he going here for? Like, here we go.